The Lenten readings for the first year of the 3-year cycle of readings we use in the liturgy emphasize the fact that Lent is a season of preparation for catechumens who will be baptized at Easter, and a season of renewal for the already baptized who will reaffirm their own baptismal commitment. Some of the readings are unique in that they should be used in any year that there are catechumens in the community. In the course of 5 weeks, we reflect upon the temptation of Jesus, his transfiguration, his meeting with a woman at the well, his healing of a man born blind, and his raising of Lazarus. Each teaches a different aspect of baptism. So, what has today's gospel passage got to do with baptism? More specifically, what has it to do with my baptism, whether past or pending? Is the Christian life easy or difficult? Considering that it entails a lifelong struggle against temptation, it is difficult. Considering that it entails a life-giving awareness of the forgiving love of God, it's easy. God has created me to live in a certain way, so why do I find it difficult to live the kind of life God calls me to? Something is very wrong. I continually make choices that seem based upon the mistaken belief that what is bad for me is better, or at least easier, than my true good. The temptation that Jesus faced is, in fact, the temptation I face. It was a temptation to take the easy way out. Jesus was hungry and tired after his fast. To go for the quick fix, to take no responsibility for his actions and leave everything up to God, to grab for power. We all face similar temptations. We disguise laziness as faith. We disguise irresponsibility as hope. We disguise lust for power as love. Basically, there's only one temptation, the temptation to betray my vocation. The vocation of Jesus was to face rejection and the cross. The devil offered him a way out, tempting Jesus with ways to avoid the suffering that his vocation entailed. You face hunger, danger, and ineffective powerlessness? Come to me. What is my vocation? Paradoxically, temptation may help me find it. If the basic temptation I face is to betray the very purpose God has given to my existence, then looking at my temptations may give me hints of God's will for me. One of the values of the sacrament of penance is that it gives me opportunities to reflect upon temptations in my life and to take an honest look at those to which I give in. If I do more than merely compile a list of sins, but look at the underlying reasons for my sin, I may come to see patterns in my life, patterns that show the paths by which I try to get away from or get around the vocation God has given me. If I trace those patterns back, I may find out the kind of person the devil would rather not have me be. A broad hint of that vocation can be found in the renunciations we make at our baptism and when renewing our baptismal commitment. Do you reject sin so as to live in the freedom of God's children? Baptism is a rejection of sin in our lives. It is uniting ourselves with Christ, who sent the devil on its way when he refused to give in to temptation. What we reject is anything that prevents our living in the freedom of God's children. That is my basic vocation, to be a child of God, free to grow, to love, to serve, free to reject the glamour of evil, refusing to be mastered by sin. I will have a unique way to live that vocation, just as you will. This, then, is the aspect of baptism that the Gospel tells us of today. When we accept Christ's call to union with him in his church, we commit ourselves to spurning the enticements of evil that would lessen our freedom as sons and daughters of God. Lent is then, among other things, an opportunity to prepare to make that renunciation at Easter by examining myself to find out where in my life temptation finds it easy to take root. Then, through prayer, fasting, reflection, and works of mercy that break down my self-centeredness, I make in deeds the renunciation I will make in words as we celebrate the resurrection.